welcome back to this segment of Lawrence Live. I'm Dr. Sean Smith, and I'm joined today with the Metropolitan School District of Lawrence Township 2021 Teacher of the Year, Hillary Powell from McKenzie Center of Innovation and Technology. Ms. Powell, welcome to Lawrence Live. Let's talk a little bit about what you do at McKenzie as a classroom teacher.
So I am the Supported Employment Coordinator. I teach an Applied English 11-12 class, a Applied Career Exploration Internship class where we go out into the community and we have jobs. And then I teach an Applied Work-Based Learning class where the students go out and get paid positions. Mm-hmm. So a lot.
You do a lot.
And I do the resource room too.
You do a lot. You do a lot. And you have certainly earned the reputation at McKenzie and throughout our district as being an incredible motivator and instructor of kids. But let's talk a little bit about your background, because you didn't go far to work. So talk a little bit about your background.
No, I did not at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I am a Lawrence North High School graduate of 1995. And then I went to Ball State and I came right back. I knew I wanted to teach in Lawrence. And so I kept talking to teachers that I knew in the township. And once the position opened, they called and I was right there. I was ready to come back to Lawrence North. So,
well, I think we benefited greatly from having someone in the community like yourself who's working with our students, because you know the community. But I think for the public, you really have a unique job, because as a teacher of exceptional learners, I don't think people quite understand the level of support we put in place for young people. Talk a little bit about that. What do you do? Because you're working with a real unique group of kids.
Yes, I have different levels of special education students. And so when we are out in the community, we put in supports for them to work independently. That's our goal, is that by the time they're a senior, that they have a paid position and that they can work independently and then move on after this to Project Search. So we have job coaches that go on site and they help in, being one-on-one if they need it, or they, progress to the student just maybe using a checklist or reminders on their phone of when they take breaks and things like that. So we do quite a bit, and it is a challenge every day, and that's why I love it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ms. Powell, there's someone out there watching who's thinking, why would I want to be a teacher? What motivated you to do this? Because you have such a unique teaching experience that you have. What brought that on?
So I, from kindergarten, I was placed in special ed for speech, and then it developed from there. So I'm dyslexic, and that really gave me my passion. I wanted to give back. Not everything was smooth sailing for me, and I wanted to make sure that students had the opportunities that they could, and that they could see somebody that has gone through special ed and did become successful, and, just keep going, getting my master's in special education and showing them, there's no limit to what you can do.
Absolutely. And with hard work, it certainly has paid off from Lawrence Township. We've benefited from having you as a teacher, and you are our Teacher of the Year. And so we're certainly proud of Ms. Powell, who is leading us at McKenzie Center for Innovation and Technology. Give kudos to this lady. As a matter of fact, do that for all of our teachers, because they give so much to our young people beyond anything that you can imagine. And so Ms. Powell is certainly an example of that, and I thank you for coming on this segment of Lawrence Live. Up next, we will have our Administrator of the Year for the district. Hello, and welcome back to this segment of Lawrence Live. I'm Dr. Sean Smith, Superintendent of Schools, and I'm honored to bring to you the Metropolitan School District of Lawrence Township 2021 Administrator of the Year, Ms. Mari Swain, our Executive Director at the Center for McKenzie Center for Innovation and Technology. Mari, thank you for joining me, and welcome to Lawrence Live. Administrator of the Year, what does that mean to you?
It was definitely a surprise for me to receive that acknowledgement, but definitely fulfilling, and we are so appreciative of it. I receive it on behalf of my entire team at McKenzie. It just really came forward for us, all of the work that we've done over the last couple of years as we, what we say, pivoted through the pandemic and pressed forward, because we wanted to make sure that we supported our students with their certifications because we knew that as they continued through this, we wanted to make sure that they had a plan as they move forward. So we really appreciated the acknowledgement.
Absolutely. As the director of McKinsey, you're really in a unique role. You really serve the role of a principal, but you also serve the role for the district in supporting all of our CTE programs, our career and tech education programs.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about that, because you do some real unique things for the district.
Yes. So we do all of the career and technical education, serving as a CTE district. And we're in a unique situation for Lawrence Township because we have our two sending schools with Lawrence Central and Lawrence North. But that is a large district. So we have 5,000 students and some middle school students as well that have the opportunity to begin a pathway and complete it by the time they graduate. And so by having those opportunities, they can receive an industry certification as well as dual credit that can transfer to a college and continue the pathway, or be an elective that they can utilize at pretty much any college that they decide to transfer to. So it's a great opportunity.
So all of the programs that we have at McKinsey are quite unique because you have business partners. Talk about your role in working with all the business partners to assure that these programs are quality, because we're putting kids out into the workforce. So
Correct.
Talk about that.
So each of our programs of study have advisory boards, and those advisory boards include professionals in the industry, and they sign off on our curriculum. And so by being a member of those boards, what they are saying to us are that your curriculum is spot on. So as industry continues to grow and technology changes, they're doing the work in the field. And so what they're coming back and saying is, hey, this change is coming. You all need to update your curriculum, or yes, you are doing exactly what you should be doing in the community. And so there may be things that we're doing that we need to update. There may be some things that we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. And so what that does for us is we have to sometimes update our equipment. Sometimes we need to buy new technology so that our students, as they go into the workforce, they're prepared and they're ready to join the workforce. And so they're not having to play catch up. That certification means they're ready to go to work.
Absolutely.
And so it's so important to have those advisory board and community members working with us hand in hand.
A little secret about Ms. Swain and her group of directors throughout the state of Indiana. They serve as key advisors to our state legislatures. Talk a little bit about that, because you guys have, you've actually had to go speak in front of the Indiana General Assembly. What have you guys had to push to support our students?
We spent a lot of time with our legislators because they are the ones who support us, and that's where our funding comes from, and they are making those decisions. And so we want to make sure that we get them into our career center so that they can see exactly what we're doing, because a lot of times there are lots of bills that come their way. And so they're counting on their committee chairs to tell them what's right and what's wrong. But if they don't come into McKinsey and see exactly what they're doing or what our children are doing, they're only going off of what they're hearing or seeing on a piece of paper. But if I can get our representatives and our senators and our city council and common council to come in and they can see it, they can speak and say, no, I've been at McKinsey. I've talked with Dr. Smith. I've talked with Mari Swain. They're doing great things at McKinsey. I agree with this or I don't agree with it. And so when we go and speak to the legislators, we can say, you may say that this program doesn't need that funding, but we know, because we've spoken with our folks in Lawrence Township, that not only do those programs need funding, but there is a shortage across the city of Indianapolis or across central Indiana. And because we're such a huge hospitality city, a lot of what happens across the state of Indiana doesn't apply to what we do. We're a major hospitality circle right here in the city. And so we have to do things a little bit differently. But with what you do with your legislative breakfast and a lot of other things, it's critical that we get those folks in so they can see the great work that we're doing.
Absolutely. Ms. Swain is an outstanding educator. As I said earlier, she was a former teacher, and it's just a joy to watch this passionate educator impact students in our district and our community. She is one of the best in the state of Indiana, and this year she is Lawrence Township's top administrator. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Mari Swain. Mari, thank you for joining this show and this segment of Lawrence Live, and I look forward to seeing you very soon.